Hello, I'm in Derbyshire again today and I'm venturing further south. Once I've remembered my rucksack, we need to take a little bit of a path to get to this one. But the price for that is that we start with a bridge. I'm standing on the top of an embankment at the end of the Ripley Branch line near Derby. It also connected with the Erewash Valley line, which is just shortly ahead at Butterley, where there is now a heritage railway line. Given that the rest of that embankment looks like it was on private property, we're going to go back this way instead now, and along our route, and I'll run you past a few details. Here we cross that bridge we just came up to a few minutes ago. Well, 1 minute ago really. Unfortunately, no sooner do we start than we have to get straight down to the bottom again, because there's another bridge just ahead that is not as easily crossable. Lovely brickwork all the same. Strange how it's always just one abutment that's kept and one isn't. All you bridge fans out there, we have to have one from the other side as well, don't we? Minor embarrassment out of the way. And we are now back on track. Track bed. And finally, here comes the history block. So, the Ripley Branch was opened in 1855, originally as goods, and then a year after, passenger services were added as well. It served a number of local stations along the way, including Coxbench, Kilburn and Ripley, which we shall be arriving at shortly. For the meantime though, we've already got another couple of bridges in front. And yes, I do count pipe bridges amongst them. Beautiful wide cutting for this wintry morning. You can really see the bowl shape of it when the trees have no leaves. Just taking that wonderful bird song as we walk along. We're getting the bridges in twos today. A shame they've gone and done their usual evil with that second one. As we come out of the tunnel and up the hill to street level, it feels funnily like you've just been on a roller coaster. Well, I've cycled down here a few times before, so I can testify to that. I don't know what that's supposed to tell me about the trajectory of the archway here. Obviously not that much, because the weeds and trees are not letting us. I'm down in the cutting on the other side now. And you can't see the top of the arch on either facade. So, forgetting about that one, we'll just keep ahead. to our bridge, wherever you were. Looks quite crazy to believe, but we've already come down to track level again. Looking back this way again, you can see the varying degrees of elevation here. I did gather that they'd been making it their goal to see this one reopened again. In the meantime, as we close in on another fantastically kept bridge, I did promise you a station, didn't I? And here we are, now arriving at... This is the site of Ripley Station, only there's one snag. That being that it's not the original Ripley Station. The first station site was located a further half a mile south of here, where we're facing right now. And what we have here is the site of the second station, which was opened in 1889 to help connect trains right through to the Erewash Valley line. There's a wonderful splash of details in the retaining wall on the northbound platform here. I don't think that recess was part of the original structure, more likely vandalism. Here on the southbound side, the wall appears plainer, but still pretty sturdy. You have to excuse me stepping away from it and back to it again, having to negotiate with the overgrowth. The station had waiting rooms and toilets on both sides. I'm not sure about booking offices as well. There's two blocks over here that are significantly larger and lighter coloured. Not sure if something wants backed onto those. Sadly, the weeds are hiding most of the likely treasures. So, full steam ahead once again, and goodbye Ripley. One last look at the site again. Apparently some of the station buildings stood until 1985. Shame I was a bit too young to see them then. We keep on our way and we're coming up to Albion Street. Sadly, not even a parapet survives. Shame. As if to make up for that, we make our way back down to track level on the other side. At this point, the railway route opens out into the site of Ripley Colliery, which is now known as Pit Top Park. As we get closer, I believe the actual through line track bed was this area on the right. We can quite easily make out an embankment here. Those trees may represent a line that used to go into the colliery though. And right in front of us now is this big towering art sculpture that commemorates the history of the site. We pass this interesting carving a little closer. We head along towards Peace Hill Road now. We'll be seeing the other Ripley station that once existed. Over the other side and down again, and deep into the site of Ripley Station Mark 1. Originally built as a single platform job. Apparently quite a low single platform as well. There was a works siding over to the left. That house up there is obviously a modern build, but with pretty sympathetic brickwork. We come down into a cutting now where it looks pretty clear that we've touched on track level finally, but not sure for good. Entering a tight little chicane here. I'd speculate that the railway ran down on the right, as we have risen to street level since I last talked. At least they're keeping the drainage in check. And meanwhile, I'm keeping the artwork in check again. This piece in front is known as a bear. Designed by some local school children, apparently. And the bricks that I used to construct it come from the Butterley Brick Company. You can just make out what looks like some sort of face on the side of the arch. Quite an attractive little spot in general, really. They insist on ripping up all of the railway line's heritage around this spot, so at least they give us something back. I, meanwhile, have to be getting back to the road again for a while now, because we just run out of railway for a bit. I think it's time I went and got some lunch. Subscribe, and I'll catch you in part 2. See ya!